This program is a paid commercial announcement and in no way represents the views of WPH.D or its management.
Talk Radio 1210 WPH.D, WPH.D HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. Now, Health Watch, featuring Dr. Molly Fantasia, the PhD doctor and founder of Innovative Medical Associates, with valuable information that could help you improve your quality of life. Now, Health Watch, and your host, John Damazzi.
It is a beautiful day for a change. Don't you like that, huh? And a beautiful day to get healthy. And that's what we say here on the show. That's our motto. Health Watch, Sundays 8 till 9, Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Dr. Molly Fantasia is here, as you heard the man say. She is the PhD doctor, the executive director, and the founder of Innovative Medical Associates, Marlton, New Jersey. What do we talk about here on the show? We always tell you the clue is in the title, health. We talk about health specifically, how Dr. Molly can potentially help you and anyone you know improve your overall quality of life. And as always here in the studio, we're live at this particular version of the show. You can call in at 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. That's the number here. Anytime during the course of the show, feel free to call in and ask a question of Dr. Molly. And it is a good day to get healthy, Dr. Molly, right?
As
always,
John.
right?
It is.
And I recommended you take your walk today.
Well, yes, you
nice.
did. And you said, listen, let's get some sunshine, right? We were missing. We were feeling deprived. So we're back.
Okay. Innovative Medical Associates, you've often talked here on the show about it, but we always like to start by explaining to people what you do. And still people come into your consultations and say, okay, Dr. Molly, explain this to me.
Well, the best way I can explain it, John, is that we are a primary care facility. So we can do anything any other primary care facility can, and more, actually. And so what I say is that we are a group of cooperative healthcare providers who have one single mindset. We want to improve your quality of life. We want to help you manage your particular challenge in the moment. And we can do that both with traditional medicine and or the use of natural substances like vitamins, minerals, amino acids, things you can get in the health food store. And why do we want to do that along with the pharmaceuticals? To help reduce the side effects of the pharmaceuticals that you have to take. But again, I'm going to urge people, if you're put on a medication, you do not stop your medication when you come to us. If we can help you reduce your med or get off of it, we can do that medically, assuming it's medically appropriate. And we do this through what, John? Hydration and IV therapy.
Right. And why do you do that? And then we've always talked about when people go into the hospital, whatever procedure you get, the first thing they do is
give you an IV.
Give you an IV.
Because there's a lot of data to support medical hydration, and we'll get into that later. But the bottom line is this. If we can give you the right therapeutic dose of a particular nutraceutical, and we give it to you on a basis that works, that we're able to get your reserve, then we can help you get off your medications and solve your immediate problem.
And many times your docs have prescribed for me, and it's always the lowest.
Oh, yes.
The lowest dose.
Absolutely, if we can.
If you can, and most of the time it stays that way.
It can indeed. There are some things that you have to look at, John. We all know the problem with statin drugs, and now actually they've come out with a whole line of other drugs that you do injectable for your cholesterol. Well, if there were a more natural way to help you manage that, don't you think you should be on it?
Absolutely.
And we can help you with that.
Absolutely. And I tried that injectable one time, and I remember your doc said, they were I don't know. And guess what? I didn't stay on it, but now I'm on another med, and it's fine.
It seems to work, right. And there are things in that category that can help people. And we're not telling you to throw away your medication, and we will never hear that. We treat people with some serious challenges. So if they come to us from their, let's say, not their primary, but from their specialist, and they're on a particular regimen, we want to support that regimen. But we want to help support you through that regimen and maintain your quality of life. And that's where we're different.
Many times you've had patients that come to you and they've said, Dr. Molly, I've been here, I've been there, I've been everywhere, and they can't seem to do anything for me. And then you kind of dig into it
A little bit.
And help them out with your therapies.
Yes.
So why is that?
Why is it?
I mean, I know that's a big question.
It is a big question, and it would probably take 2 hours for us to talk about it. But one of the reasons why is, although we are a primary care facility, we are also very involved in patient advocacy. So, for example, the doc may throw something on my desk and say, Molly, this just doesn't seem right. After looking at the blood results and I have a problem, I'm giving him some questions that I have. And together we'll come up with a therapeutic approach. It takes time, John. And to tell you the truth, most of the time, most people's primary care office just doesn't have the time to do it.
I was just going to say that how many times have you gone to a primary care?
Have you ever seen the chairs lined up?
The chairs are lined up.
Right.
And your appointment is at 2 o'clock, and you see the doctor at 3:30.
Right.
So it's like they're overwhelmed, basically.
Right. And most physicians want to do a great job for their patients. There's very few physicians don't want to help a patient. You don't go into this if you don't want to help someone. But the question is, they don't always have the tools that we have in our arsenal, in our black bag.
And I know you do take the time
try
to really study a case.
And on top of that, every time a patient's in the facility, I make it a point to at least talk to them for a few minutes, as you know, even while they're in the chair.
Yes, I know that. I think back to many years ago, you had that famous patient where they had been everywhere, and they brought all the medical records into your office.
Bankers' boxes.
You couldn't walk in your office because there were so many
10
boxes. Right.
He had the best grandfather in the world.
And you really went through this thing.
Well, we have to give my nurses a lot of credit because they put the file in order, and then they made copies to give to both the physicians as well as everybody else on the team.
And, that was a very big case, but you do that often for patients.
As a matter of fact, not this week, but next week, I actually have a case and that we put together a file on a patient who has breast cancer. And we took the journey from 2016 up to the present course and the present surgery. We have it all bound. We have all the relevant information together. I actually have a Skype consultation with an integrative oncologist for that patient a week from tomorrow.
Many times people ask you this question, and they ask it here on the show. What does it take? How many treatments does it take for you to feel an effect, or you to feel some kind of different way, or just in general? Talk about that.
Isn't that a loaded question?
Yes, it is a loaded question.
Because, people come to us in various states of dysregulation. But generally, people start to feel better if they follow the routine that we ask them to. They start to have some quality of life come back in as short a time as 5 weeks, which isn't bad. 5 weeks from the time you walk in. But to really effectuate change in many of these, terrible cases, and there are lots of them, autoimmune, cancer, supportive therapies, you don't start to feel better till around 20 treatments, and that could be 20 to 30 treatments could take, I guess, 70 to 90 days, John. So
a lot of times people do come in and they assume that it happens overnight, but it doesn't happen overnight.
As I say, it's not holy water, right? I don't have the Holy Ghost come down and, bless you and your three, but I do know that God works through a lot of these nutraceuticals. They're all God's ingredients, and I know that the body has a unique ability, thanks to the good Lord, to help put themselves back to homeostasis, which is my word for Goldilocks. It means you go back in balance.
All right, we're coming up on our first break of the morning. It is Health Watch, and that's our program, and we're here every Sunday, the live version, 8 till 9, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Dr. Molly Fantasia is here. She is the PhD doctor and the executive director and the founder of Innovative Medical Associates, located in Marlton, New Jersey. You have a question for Dr. Molly, and many times people call in and they have a particular medical challenge, which they're kind of in a quandary about at the moment. Well, if that's you want to run it by Dr. Molly, this is the time to call in. 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. With Dr. Molly Fantasia, I'm John DeMasi. We both return. More Health Watch after these words. Back here on Health Watch, operators standing by as always when we do the program here. They are at Innovative Medical Associates, of course. And you can contact them directly at 856-489-0505. That's the number, 856-489-0505. Many times people want to talk to someone off the air, and if you're a little bashful to come on the air with us, well, that's okay. You call the operators, and actually that's the number you can call during the week as well for Innovative Medical Associates, 856-489-0505. Again, 856-489-0505. Also the website, innovativemedicalassociates.com, innovativemedicalassociates.com. Over the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of updates on the website, so you can get a lot of really good information on there as well as to what Dr. Molly does and how it potentially can help you. Again, innovativemedicalassociates.com is the website. Our program is Health Watch, Sundays 8 till 9, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Dr. Molly Fantasia is here, and we're going to talk about something. And Dr. Molly, this all started with an email that you got from someone.
Sure.
And really asking you the question about medical hydration.
Correct.
What's the data? What's the proof, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
And kind of take the ball from there and run with it and tell us what you're going to talk about.
Well, one of the things I want to talk about today is indeed the medical hydration protocols that I use. Okay, that really separates our clinic from a lot of other places. But you hear me all the time talk about that. We are not a spa. So I'm a scientist. I'm lucky enough to work with two wonderful physicians who help support our work, support our patients, and are very, very involved in understanding functional medicine. And when I say functional, I'm saying I want to have good quality of life. My patients tend to come to us with focus-driven problems, cancer, autoimmune. You've seen it, John.
Yes.
Infection, post-COVID, till I want to pull my hair out, right? So everybody understands this. So this particular gentleman emailed, and he said, and he was alluding that there was no data to support medical hydration. So I decided to do a research again. By the way, I have all of this at the office to show people. There are over many hundreds of studies, but I took off approximately 54, and I want to highlight some of them. There is a PubMed study about high-dose vitamin C in cancer therapy. This is very interesting because everybody goes back, and this gentleman alluded to it. He went back to the Mayo Clinic study where they gave out oral vitamin C. Do you understand? They gave a pill. And so they
not the same as...
No,
right. Okay.
Definitely not. And what was happening is he was equating that to what a bogus kind of treatment high-dose vitamin C could be. Now, I'm not saying that intravenous high-dose vitamin C cures cancer, but there is a National Cancer Institute study that was done and published in January 2020. Not so long ago, right? Not so long ago. And what they did was they actually talked about why vitamin C is not a popular cancer treatment, which I thought was interesting, and how we can't equate it to the Mayo Clinic studies because of oral versus IVC. Now, they also listed the challenges that are really a problem in controlled studies for vitamin C. And I'll tell you why, John. This is so funny because this goes back to my old friend Irv Homer. Follow the money.
Right.
Why can't we do more studies, controlled studies, placebo studies for vitamin C? We can't because most of the studies have been small studies, privately funded by groups that are nutritionally based, and actually just like in the regular studies where the pharmaceutical companies actually bankroll the trials, but not for C because you can't patent C. So that's one of many studies out there.
You're saying that you can't patent a natural substance.
Exactly.
So there's no money in it.
There's no impetus to do a large random
okay.
trial. How are you going to make any money in that?
That's right.
I tell people this all the time. people say to me, well, you've patented something. I said, I have patent pendings on protocol, how I use these nutrients, not the nutrients themselves. They're God-given, my friend, okay? And nobody can patent God except in our heart.
Absolutely.
So that's where we should be.
But your protocols are what you've developed for a variety of conditions.
That's exactly right. How I use these particular nutraceuticals, how I secure the actual constituents of these nutraceuticals. That is patentable. How to use it in patient population. Okay, so this is one of those high dose vitamin C. And again, I want to go back, and the concluding remarks of this, I think, is worth repeating. It said, it's intriguing that small clinical trials suggest some response, but there's no clear rationale why cancer should respond to vitamin C or a path forward. However, they go on to say, preclinical trials, the ones I'm talking about, suggest that patient populations do respond to vitamin C at a financial cost much less than the cancer drugs.
So this whole thing comes down to money, is really what you're saying.
And what they're saying in the end, they say interactions with vitamin C from the author's viewpoint. And again, I'll give you this study, show that the implementation of a treatment paradigm should be, in other words, a treatment program should benefit many cancer patients, even if it only improves quality of life.
And that's really all you've ever said.
Amen.
That you don't cure, and you've said
I won't.
that. You don't cure, and you won't say it.
Well,
I believe, but you can improve the quality of life, which is what we talk about here on the show.
Now, the same gentleman who wrote to me went on to say that he has a problem about the safety and efficacy of intravenous therapies. I would like to go on and tell you, and John, you're looking at this, but people can call my office and I'll send it to them. I have 53 studies, all from various publications, all medical and science, saying that there's perfectly good data to support prudent use of IV therapies. And by the way, you mentioned it in the first part of the show, telling people that when you get into the hospital, first thing they do is put an IV
Exactly.
in. So obviously it can't be that bad. Even if you're in fluid overload, by the way, they tend to give you some more fluid.
I had cataract surgery last week, as you remember.
Yes.
And what's the first thing they did? Put an IV in.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Put an IV in, right?
Right.
And you're thinking, why? And that's what we do.
So I want to talk about this. So there's one study that I found that talked about intravenous iron therapy. Guess what? That is an everyday type of treatment done in these infusion clinics all over the world at buku money, by the way, because they're using a form of iron that is actually a man-made form of iron, let's put it that way, as opposed to the kind you can extract from vegetables and natural substances. So there's one of them. I also have a study that talks about the bias against vitamin C in mainstream medicine. And this was a study that originally was done in 2016. And again, it shows that the bias started with an article in JAMA, okay, which is the God protocol I guess abstracts, they're always published in JAMA. That's the one, okay? And the citations, though, were on to say that, guess what? They don't have enough evidence at that time, okay? This was from 1975. They're talking about 1975, and they still have this as a number one study on the study sheet. So what I'm telling this gentleman is, please continue to look through these and know what you're looking at, because to really understand studies, you have to read the whole thing. Many of these are 20 to 50 pages. Read the entire thing. Another thing, intravenous micronutrient therapy for fibromyalgia, one of my favorite autoimmune diseases that people come in with all the time. And there is a study that was done in 2018. And it was, of course, done by the subjects from the American College of Rheumatology. Actually picked the study subjects for this small study. And guess what happened? The results showed clinically significant improvements were noted in the magnitude of the trigger point.
All right, let's pick this up. We're coming up on our halfway point. We're coming up on a break.
Okay.
Let's pick this up after the break because I know you got a lot more to talk about.
I have many more
Right,
studies. I know it's boring, folks, but it's really important.
Here's the bottom line. All the studies you're going to give us, and you're going to give us more. I know how I feel. Okay.
That's what we're going to say.
I know how I feel. And, that's great that you're telling us about the studies. Good. But, the proof is in the pudding, as they say. And here it is. I got it. Okay. It is Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Dr. Molly Fantasia is here. She is the PhD doctor, the executive director, and the founder of Innovative Medical Associates, located in Marlton, New Jersey. You have a question for Dr. Molly? We always tell you to call early because we can take some time. Dr. Molly can take some time and discuss your situation with you. So this is a good time for you to call in. We do have some open lines here on the show. 855-839-1210 is our number here, 855-839-1210. With Dr. Molly Fantasia, I'm your host, John DeMasi. More Health Watch after these words. And we're back here on Health Watch. Operators are standing by right now at Innovative Medical Associates, and that number is 856-489-0505, 856-489-0505. If you want more information, they'll be happy to give that to you. And if you want to call now, you certainly can. You want to call during the week, that's the number during the week for Innovative Medical Associates, 856-489-0505. And don't forget the website, innovativemedicalassociates.com. Innovativemedicalassociates.com is the website. Our program is Health Watch, and you'll find us here with the live version every Sunday, 8 till 9 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. We're going to go to the phones. We're going to talk to John in Southampton, PA. John, good morning. Welcome to Health Watch. You're on with Dr. Molly.
Hi, John.
Hi, good morning. I love your program. I just have a question. My son, he's 20 years old. He's an aspiring bodybuilder. He's been bodybuilding for the last, I'd say, maybe a year and a half, like hardcore. But he has a torn hip labrum. And he tried, I'm a pharmacist, so I have friends that are in the integrative world.
Good.
So I had a pharmacist who recommended BPC 157.
Yeah, that's, yes. I
didn't know, does your practice, because we're in Southampton, Pennsylvania, PA, so in Bucks County, so does your practice offer peptides? Because it hasn't healed completely.
Yes, the short answer is yes. Now, yeah, and you know what? I think we've spoken before, John. You should call my office, and we can get into a more in-depth conversation about that, because you understand if you're in New Jersey. Are you a pharmacist in New Jersey?
No, I'm in PA.
Well, thank God. Well, I better watch what I say. But there are a lot of restrictions in New Jersey. So give me a buzz and we can talk a little more freely about that. But actually, your friend is right. And did you read some of the research data on that particular peptide? By the way,
I did. I didn't go in depth. My son actually does a lot of the research himself.
Good for him.
He really, because he's bodybuilding, he knows. I think he knows more about hormones than I do.
Yeah, I get.
But
yeah.
Again, the person that recommended it, he recommended the oral, but I know injectable was better.
I would say, obviously, that injectable of any type of natural substance actually can be more beneficial than the oral because you're losing so much in the gut. The short answer is we should talk a little more in depth. Have your son call me. What's his name, by the way, just in case he does call?
His name, it'd be easy to remember. His name's Francesco.
Francesco. Beautiful name. God bless you. He sounds like he's a nice guy, too, and a smart boy.
He inspires me. I'll be honest with you. Like, some of the things he does is dry, but it's still, he wants to train. Again, you want to train, you want to stay healthy. He's a really knowledgeable kid, but it's just when you can't train and you love to train, I think it breaks you down, but you got to get better. better. So
I
I'll
can
definitely have them call you then. So.
Please,
Yeah, it's frustrating. I know.
Please,
It's
please,
frustrating.
let them come in for a free consult. It's no big deal. I love to see young guys and young gals come in. And John can tell you, I'm treating a pilot right now,
Right.
with of course certain growth factors, etc. So yeah, this is a good case. Have them come on.
John, thank you for the call and
Thank
good luck
you.
with that.
Thank
Make sure
you.
you have him call Dr. Molly.
You know, this is new. This is 22nd century medicine we're talking about, regenerative medicine, and it's pretty interesting. But I want to go.
Getting back to this,
But, yeah.
you started the last segment by talking about an email you got
Yeah.
concerning medical hydration, and
Yes.
the person was questioning the efficacy of it.
Correct.
And you have over 50 references telling us really that it is.
Well, you can use it. You can use it.
and-
It's safe. You know,
Right.
It'll do what it can do. But let's go to my patients. So let's talk about my patient, Pam. God bless her. She told me on Wednesday, she came in Wednesday this week, 13 years with us. 13 years. And trust me, she knows everything there is to know about nutrition and high-dose vitamin C. So I would venture to say that high-dose vitamin C never hurt her since
No.
she's come back for 13 years. And again, she had a very serious condition. She had cancer. And I would say that if people look at the data in talking to other patients, then go look on the internet at these traditional, let's say, abstracts and things, then you can really ease your mind and put your mind on what these IV nutritional supplements can do for you and what it may not be able to do for you. But Pam is a wonderful case of what's happening right now. Another case I have, Pat. She's come to me. Now, she just had her CT scan. She had minimal growth of a particular tumor in one area, no growth in anywhere else. And I will tell you, I believe that using our anti-cancer supportive therapies, which are nutritionally based, including high-dose vitamin C and other things, that's what's helping her keep it at bay. Along with what, John? We talk about diet, getting rid of sugars. We talk about using antioxidants and pro-oxidants. And I would say now, Pat comes from a family of chiropractors. They really like a natural approach. However, she did have surgery. I'm a proponent of that. You know, I always tell you, cancer can be a beast. What do? You get it out, John. You get it
Absolutely.
out. And you know that.
And I know that. And, you know, I'm a patient. And I said to you in the last segment,
right.
Listen, all I know is what works.
Right.
And it works.
Right.
So I don't get sick. I don't get colds.
Thank God.
And
Thank
I'm going
God.
to knock on wood again.
That's right. And let us pray. The
Right.
thing is, John, nothing works in a vacuum. We need to look at a patient holistically, which means both traditional medicine, meaning conventional medicine, as well as the integrative side of the house or the holistic side of the house, and help a patient go through the journey and meet a patient where they are. I have patients who won't do any conventional, including not have the surgery. Do I think that's prudent? Probably not, but I would want to read the reports and see why they can't do the surgery, because sometimes they can't. So then our job switches. We need to give them quality of life and hope that what we're doing then can reduce some of the tumor burden. And in some cases, it has. It has.
We should mention that a lot of times with your patients, you know, the hydration is part of it, but you also counsel them on supplements. You
Of
counsel
course.
them on maybe some physicians that you know they
Of
can
course,
go to.
of course. That's part of the job of a primary care advocate. That's
Right.
what I am. So, of course, we will. But the point is, we have to read and we have to educate ourselves as patients about the powerfulness of natural products, because it has power. It has power in the way it's used. The problem has been, just like with pharmaceuticals, just like with everything, the key is if you take something and you don't take the right combination, or you don't take enough of a particular constituent, you're not going to get results. Garbage in, garbage out.
I have to tell you, the other day, saw your Dr. Pat.
Oh, where's she?
And I tell you, every week I see her, she looks better than she did the week before.
She sure looks 100% better than when she came into me.
You heard me say to her, "You look like $1 million."
Yeah.
And she said, "Thank you." You know, I mean, I can't believe what we saw before and what we see now. So talk about that briefly if you can.
Well, she has MS, and what we used was the new wave of medicine, regenerative medicine, using growth factors, MSCs, certain things IV, including peptides and certain interleukins and anti-interleukins, and I'll be darned, she's doing very well. And by the way, we're also using a subclinical dose of a traditional med. So, hello, this is what I say. It's a combined medical treatment protocol to help a patient improve their quality of life. Do you think we cured MS? No, absolutely not. Nor would we ever say we did. But I'll tell you, the other thing I'm really fascinated by is how well these nutraceuticals can work on neurodegenerative diseases if delivered through the hydration, through the IV. Because, again, it's a direct hit. If we can get things to go through the blood-brain barrier, why not let it work?
Absolutely. We are coming up on our final break of the morning, which means that you still have time to call in with a question or a medical challenge you want to run by Dr. Molly. This is the time to do it. 855-839-1210 is our number here. 855-839-1210. Our program is called Health Watch. You'll find us here, the live version, every Sunday, 8 till 9, here on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. With Dr. Molly Fantasia, I'm John DeMasi. We return. More Health Watch after these words. Operators are standing by right now at Innovative Medical Associates, and they will be there well after we leave you at 9 o'clock, so you can call after that, or you can call anytime during the day. 856-489-0505. That's the number. Innovative Medical Associates, Marlton, New Jersey. 856-489-0505. And don't forget the website, innovativemedicalassociates.com, innovativemedicalassociates.com. And don't forget, you missed any of today's show, you can catch us this afternoon. We call it our Health Watch Replay, or the Sleeper Special, in case you don't get up in time. From 4 until 5 this afternoon, it's our Health Watch Replay every Sunday here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Well, this is the live version of Health Watch, and we're going to go to the phones. We're going to talk to Pam in Marlton, New Jersey. Pam, good morning.
Hi,
You're
Pam.
on Health Watch with Dr. Molly.
Hey, Pam. Thank you for calling.
Good morning.
Hey,
Hi.
how you doing? How you doing?
Good.
I know.
I'm good.
I woke you. We woke you up
No,
early
you didn't
today.
You didn't wake me up. I'm up with the dogs. You know
God
that.
bless you. God bless you, Pam. I just was talking about you in the last segment, so.
I know.
Okay. So maybe tell your story, because it's a good one.
Okay. So 2001 was the first time, the original year that I had breast cancer, diagnosed with breast cancer. I had a double mastectomy. That was my choice. Mm-hmm. And 8 years later, I had a recurrence, which is pretty rare once you have a double mastectomy. So I had to make a decision about what I was going to do, and I did go see the traditional doctors and all of that, and I asked what they could give me that was non-toxic, and they kind of laughed in my face and said nothing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I said, okay. I said, well, I'm going to think about this, and then by chance, or I always say it was my mom who's
I
up
agree
in
with
heaven.
that.
Yeah, my mother, through my brother,
That's right.
Sonny, found
That's
you,
That's right.
and that was it. I came in. I actually, he called me on the phone while I was in the car. I pulled over into a parking lot to write your number down, and I called you immediately.
I remember.
And made an appointment for the next day. I was in there, and
We
started.
Yep,
that
we
day.
started you.
That was
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Yep.
well, that was 13
13
years. And
years
you know
ago.
what, Pam?
Yes.
What I want to say, though, about you, and this is what I said, you took other steps, all right? It isn't just the IVC and the anti-cancer protocol.
Of course.
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Yes.
That's going
You
to
have to
help
change
a great
everything.
deal. You have
to
to
change everything in
your life.
your lifestyle. You do.
You do. And the other thing I really appreciate you about, and I don't say it enough, is that you're one of these people that actually did the research. Your brother as well, very intelligent about this, did the research. And we know all the naysayers out there and all, it's what I was talking about earlier, all of these people who email me and tell me there's no research. There's plenty of research.
Yes.
You've got to look between the lines, understand what the research is saying, and then you've got to implement that research clear across your lifestyle. For example, you take oral supplements. You don't eat crazy, and you do not eat sugar.
Really good. I try to. I'm not perfect, but I try to do.
No one's perfect. No one's perfect. No, but
you have to make changes.
That's right. And I want to tell you something else that I thought you were very helpful in. We have a patient who, is, when they come through and they say there's no hope for them, there's always hope. And you know what? When you have nothing to lose, how's about giving something else a try?
That's right.
Exactly.
I mean,
think outside of the box a little bit.
Right. Because you know what? In today's cancer climate, there's no impetus for you to think out of the box. Yeah, everybody, all the big groups are now putting in integrative medicine, quote unquote. Let me tell you, we've got 26 years of true integrative functional medicine. And it's hugely different than these spas that are opening up and everything else. It's wonderful to get a facial. I told John that. It's great to get a facial. But you know what? I want you to be able to walk in to get the facial.
Exactly.
And you and I both know, right? We're not waiting till the end of life to enjoy life, okay?
No,
that's the bottom line.
And I'm jealous, John. You get facials over there.
There you go.
I know. You know what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that's a little, I like to call it the fluff, but you know where I'm coming from. The bottom line is the medicine that's being done is really important, and you're a prime example of how that works. And I really appreciate you, and I know everybody. The lovely Linda. We look forward to you coming. God bless you.
I love Linda. You know that.
I love you guys. Well, you really wonderful. Thank you, Pam.
Pam, you changed your day. I don't see you anymore. So
she's Thursday, John.
Okay. My husband once in a while, though.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So,
thank you.
Thanks for calling and continued success.
God bless you.
Appreciate it.
God bless. God bless you.
Thank you.
But
all right, bye-bye.
That's indicative of what we do. And here's a good example. So I want to go back to the regenerative medicine for a minute. We're doing that. It's all new. Everything is new out there for these neurodegenerative diseases. And I have a firm belief we can help. Arthritic. My patient Sandy, she's down right now. She's in Cape May. I called her yesterday to see how she was doing. She said, "Oh, yes, Molly, I'm doing a lot better today than I did on Thursday when you delivered this." And I said, I expected that. I told her she couldn't take her anti-inflammatories. Why didn't I want her to take her anti-inflammatories for those 2 days? Because what we were doing was we're causing inflammation so the body can then move into its own rhythm to put the inflammation under control. So
that's fascinating.
You have to cause a little bit so that the body's mechanisms kick in and God helps you control it.
Seems like you have more and more patients are getting this regenerative.
Oh, I have plenty of them, including starting with Dr. Pat on down. But there are many, and we use it for many different things. The gentleman who called in, the pharmacist who called in about his boy, Francesco, that is a form of regenerative medicine. And what we have to realize, a natural form, by the way, they're peptides. They're natural proteins, small molecule proteins. They're out there, John. The question is, have you gone to the right facility to get them? Oh, by the way, you can get all this out on the West Coast for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000.
Okay.
Or maybe you could come in and see us.
You're a lot less than that.
I know that.
You mentioned during the break, you said it's important to tell people that the earlier you come in, the better.
Of course.
And a lot of times people wait till it's desperation time.
Right.
So how do you navigate that for somebody?
I do the best I can. But, it also makes me so unhappy, and I really feel it. I actually get torn up when I see patients who I know we could have extended the quality of their life if they just would take a giant step of faith and really put their hands in with people, not just me. Listen, I'm just a doorway. the good Lord is the one who helps us here. But if you would just look at the research out there and seek out other medical clinics, you would find that this is a way of life for patients, and they tend to do better, John, if they come in earlier.
How do you know when?
Well, let's put it to you this way: when you're walking with a cane or you're in the wheelchair, the degenerative disease has been pretty bad.
Absolutely. Well, that is going to put the wraps on this edition of Health Watch. Don't forget, if you miss any of today's show, you have the Health Watch replay this afternoon, 4 until 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And also, if you have questions, you want to have the initial consultation with Dr. Molly, which is complimentary, you can call the operators right now or anytime today, 856-489-0505, 856-489-0505. And check out the web, innovativemedicalassociates.com. innovativemedicalassociates.com is the website. For Dr. Molly Fantasia and everyone at Innovative Medical Associates, the lovely Linda, Barbara, delightful Dee, fabulous Fran, we have Joanne, and our nurses Jess and Lana, and our medical assistant Caring Kathy. I'm John DeMasi. Thanks for listening. Have a great week and a healthy one. We'll talk to you next Sunday, Health Watch 8 till 9. Here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. You take care.
This program is a paid commercial announcement and in no way represents the views of WPHT or its management.